Let's talk about the story of the day. Ian Rappaport had it, the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, that Brock Purdy is scheduled to undergo surgery. The surgery is going to be conducted on February 22nd. And if everything goes according to plan, it sounds like the timeline is exactly that Kyle Shanahan described at the Lynch Shanahan presser, that it's going to be roughly a 6-month turnaround. And from the date of the surgery to week 1 is exactly 6 months and 19 days for Purdy. So probably expect to see him sometime this summer, probably not at the beginning of camp, but maybe in the midst of camp. Will we see him play in the preseason? That part we don't know, but it sounds like best case scenario is he'll be ready by the end of the preseason, which means he'll be ready to roll week 1. Good news for the Niners.
Yeah, it seems a little optimistic. I'm a little confused with Rappaport. He says he's going to be ready for training camp. The beginning of training camp, the end of training camp, some of training camp. If it's 6 months from the date of the surgery, that means August 22nd, which is more like mid-preseason. So I'd like to know about that. And also, this is all the most optimistic projection. You don't really know how a recovery is going to happen. It could be longer. So this could be great news for the 49ers. Best case scenario, Brock Purdy starts week 1, doesn't miss a beat. He's the same guy as last year. They roll. But you got to be prepared for another outcome. It's not a given that the best outcome will come. So I just want to know, it's great that there's a possibility that something that the best case scenario could happen, but what are the contingency plans the Niners have? I'd like to know.
It's funny. I look at this as the way I was looking at it yesterday, or coming before this news, I was looking at their quarterback room of Brock and Trey and a veteran, but not just an Easton Stick veteran, a real veteran, like an Andy Dalton or a Taylor Heineke, or somebody who actually has started NFL games. And that
I'll take Heineke.
Yeah, I would take Heineke. Yeah. I would take any of these guys really as a third quarterback, but my thinking was this guy, that third guy, may have to start, and he may have to start as many as 2, 3, 4 games at the beginning of the year. You may have to use this third guy to actually start regular season games if Trey, for whatever reason, is not either healthy or right, or if Brock is not healthy or right. You may have to lean on this third guy. I kind of think with this news, it makes it's less vital that they get a Dalton or a Taylor Heineke or a veteran. And now I think the draft is open to them. I think that now, you've got obviously Kyle, your offensive coaching staff, you got Greasy, but now with a reasonable expectation that Purdy's not going to miss the whole year, and the reasonable expectation that Trey's also going to be healthy. Now I think if they really did want to go into the draft for Jake Haener or Tanner McKee or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or I really love Malik Cunningham right now out of Louisville. If they wanted to go do that route, I think that's viable now with this news.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, I wouldn't, if I were the Niners, this is great news, and it gives you hope and optimism, but I wouldn't make too many plans based on, Brock's going to be there week 1. He'll be fine. If that happens, great. Then there's nothing to talk about. But if it doesn't happen, you got to be prepared for that as well. And Trey's a good start. That's one quarterback. That's it. So if they could sign Taylor Heineke and draft Dorian Thompson-Robinson, great. Now you got 3. Because again, is Purdy going to be able to take reps at all in these long practice? We'll see. If he's there for week 1, great. But you got to get through training camp too. So bodies. It's like the running back position. Until Kyle Shanahan proves that he can keep these guys healthy, bodies.